Hi, we are a group from Girl Scout Troop 4178 and welcome to our videos, which are bringing awareness and sharing information regarding the LGBTQIA community, specifically through our three pillars: understanding, affirmation, and equity. Enjoy what we have to share, and hopefully you'll learn something along the way. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Hi, I am Grace, a representative from Troop 4178. And this video will be about impressive LGBTQIA advocates and people. As we have greatly stressed throughout other videos, everyone is important. People who are a part of the LGBTQIA community are no exception. Throughout this video, you will learn about some of the many people that have made an impact on society, even while being unique and different in their own ways. In this case, these are people who identify as a part of the LGBTQIA community. These are people who have made a difference, setting an example for the rest of the world and any people going through a similar situation as them. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'll share a little bit with you about one of the most impressive LGBTQIA people and advocates. Marsha P Johnson was an activist, a drag queen, and genderqueer. So, Marsha P Johnson was an activist during the Stonewall movement and is sometimes referred to as the Rosa Parks of this movement. The Stonewall movement was a series of protests and riots around 1969 that were hoping to equalize LGBTQIA rights. Marsha and Sylvia Rivera developed safe spaces for a lot of LGBT youths. In their days of activism, they were arrested over 100 times. Also, in the late 80s and early 90s, Johnson became an activist for AIDS with ACT UP, giving hope for many LGBT people. When Johnson died in 2002, their death was unfairly ruled by the police system, causing an uproar and a reevaluation of prejudice in the police system. Overall, everything this activist did was really amazing and deserves more credit than is given. Ellen DeGeneres is the host of The Ellen Show and an actor. She identifies as lesbian. Ellen is a truly amazing person. She hosts her own show called The Ellen Show and has had a lot of acting roles. The one that you probably know her for is the voice of Dory from Finding Nemo and from Finding Dory more recently. She and her wife, Portia de Ross, were married in 2008 and have done so many great things together. They're both very philanthropic and donate to a lot of great causes.
Alok Badman. Alok has spoken out about gender, race, trauma, and the human condition. They recently released a book called Beyond the Gender Binary. The book is one in the Pocket Change series that helps share the LGBTQ experience, written by different advocates and artists. They also have a collection of poetry in a book called Femme in Public. They have spoken out about violence against trans and gender nonconforming people, body diversity, gender neutrality, and self-confidence. They also have released 3 gender-neutral fashion lines, trying to get gender-neutral clothing available to all people.
So, Sally Ride was an astronaut and identified as queer, as far as we know. Most people know her as the first American woman in space and the third woman in space overall, but very few people know that she was in a relationship with another woman for 27 years until she died in 2012. She was in love with her partner Tam O'Shaughnessy, but waited until her death to tell the world that she was indeed a queer woman. Before she was partnered with O'Shaughnessy, she was married to Stephen Hawley, but had a divorce after 5 years of marriage. Although she wasn't an advocate for LGBTQIA rights, she was still a very impressive person with a lot of great achievements and deserves to be mentioned.
Hi, I'm Nora, and today I will be sharing with you some information on Sylvia Rivera, who is an activist and one of the most impressive LGBTQIA people and advocates. Sylvia Rivera was identified as a trans woman. She
She was a Stonewall activist along with Marsha P Johnson. Her and Marsha co-founded STAR, worked for the homeless rights, and fought for the Sexual Orientation Non-Discrimination Act. She helped give attention to the most discriminated against in the community: homeless youth, drag queens, trans people, women mainly, and gay inmates in prison. She also helped raise attention to the discrimination of the ruling of Marsha P. Johnson's death. She kept fighting until the day she died on February 19, 2002.
Leonardo da Vinci was an artist, scientist, architect, designer, and a lot more. He was also a man who loved other men. So Leonardo da Vinci was a Renaissance artist, scientist, architect, and designer, like I said earlier. He was possibly the greatest mind of his time. He was also an openly man-loving man. Da Vinci was once persecuted for being in a relationship with a man, but since he lived in Florence, Italy, which was a generally open and non-homophobic city, his charges were removed. He wasn't exactly an advocate for the queer community, but he was still a very impressive person and deserves to be mentioned.
Now, think about all of these impressive people with presence in the LGBTQIA+ community that we have showed you. Rather than dampening them, it strengthened them, showing everyone that they are just as equal, influential, important, and special. Thank you for watching. If you are looking for more information, feel free to check out our website and pamphlet linked in the description box below. Thank you again, Troop 4178.